Sir, At the Sharp End is brought to you by Movi, the video messaging application that allows back and forth video message conversations that can be either public or private. Go to movi.co to see today's top posts, sign up for free, and join the conversations happening now. That's movi.co. And if you've not seen Movi, they've got a great community of people that contribute there. So we highly recommend popping over to movi.co to see that. Right, so without further ado, good morning, John.
Good morning, Ian. Thank you for having me at the Sharp End.
No, you're welcome. So I did actually say good morning when I introduced you this morning, but it seems that we got a little Google gremlin and you you didn't answer, so you're here
either
now.
that or some earwax, one of the two.
So on the three things we're going to talk about: finding the pain, idea extraction, pre-selling the ideas, and then building the product. Okay.
Yep.
So let's kick off with finding the pain, and there are some great ways to do this, aren't there? And you know, we've seen clients where what they do is they've got really good domain knowledge and they're already embedded in a business and selling into a specific sector or sectors, and that gives them a unique insight in how to spot where the next thing needs to be, what the next product needs to be. It only works though if they don't just try to come up with an idea and they actually talk to their clients. What do you think to that, John?
I agree, Ian. I think really it comes down to one thing, and the key thing is the idea. So, do you have £1 million idea in your head, or $1 million idea in your head? Yes or no? And are you just waiting to act? Or alternatively, is that idea going to empty your wallet really quickly with no potential for return? What do I mean by that? Well, you know, before committing, you need to speak to your customers. So, you know, you don't want to waste your time, your money, or your resources. And I think there's a quick way that's basically loosely based around, customer discovery. And I think there are 4 key questions that you can ask yourself to identify the pain points. And they're really simple and really quick. So I was just going to rattle off those, which I think are a good way to address your possible pain points, Ian.
Okay, yeah, okay, go on then.
Yeah. So I bang on about this a lot, and it's have you identified a problem that customers want solved? Yes or no? It's as simple as that. Does the product that you're proposing solve that problem or need? Question number 2. Question number 3, is it viable to build a profitable business model around that product or service? And question number 4 is, have you learned enough at this point of just testing the idea to go out and pre-sell that, Ian?
And that's a great list actually for getting started. So really useful. We'll put that list in the show notes so that the listeners have got something to take away, because that's very helpful. And if you look on various resources online, there's lots of people talk about idea extraction, which is basically talking to a network, trying to find out what's their biggest pain, and then figuring out a way to solve it. And in some industries that's easier than others. So if you do online software or app development, quite often you can find that pain, develop a product quite cheaply or even for free, depending how you go about it. You can pre-sell it. If you're in a more traditional market where you actually manufacture something, that's a lot more difficult, and you have to have funds in place or a route to get funds to develop your product. But we absolutely advocate checking it first to make sure that there is that route to market and that the market indeed wants what you're making, right, John?
Absolutely.
There's a term in the UK, white elephant, and we see a lot of white elephant type products. Sometimes people have gone away, thought of a great idea, protected them, but never actually tested the market. And from our point of view, that's the wrong way around. We believe in identifying the pain and then testing the market first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually, John, you do quite a lot of that for us, don't you? So you do spend a lot of time looking at uh, how to test the market, how to pre-sell that idea, how to find that route to market.
Yeah, it's critically important. And again, I think it comes down to another three key questions to ask Ian, which really is all based around one key area. And that key area is the search for the problem solution fit. Now, that can be for the product or it could be for the service. So, those three questions, just to rattle through them, is does your idea or company, be it a startup or a SME, have a value proposition with this new product or service that appeals to the customer segments you want to target? Again, yes or no? It's got to appeal to them. Okay, so if it appeals to them, you've then got to ask yourself again another simple question. And that simple question is, okay, so you've got the problem solution fit, but don't go ahead until you've achieved three things, Ian: the revenue model, the pricing, and the customer acquisition.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You've got to match that to the customer needs. Another way forward as well is the second.
Can I just butt in, John? I would add
Yeah,
another one there because there's the cost of development as well.
very good point, especially with electronics.
Yeah.
Some of our electronics customers that we've had. I was going to say the second point is develop the product for the few and not the many. A lot of the companies that we deal with are startups, and with the best will in the world, they're not a big hitter like Apple, so they can't deliver and execute on a product that's got a full dashboard of needs to fit every customer type. It's just not possible to do it. What you can do is deliver on a checklist of product features that are all based around the minimal viable product to make it work for your niche customers that you want to target initially.
And that's really interesting, isn't it? Because if you can identify that niche and you can identify that set of features that they're going to buy, you've got a way of making revenues and proving your product in the market. The
Yeah,
great thing about that is what happens once you get your product in the market? You start to get feedback on it.
yeah.
That feedback is absolutely critical to making the whole business a success and being able to build further products.
Yeah, which that's great, and that links me to to my final point on this one, which was about early customers and the target market. It's so important because you need these guys to have understood what the vision is for the product, and actually to go out there and be enthusiastic about it. You know, because if your early customers, if you can't get traction and momentum to spread the good news about the product, it's not going to fly in the first instance and get the all-important feedback to develop the minimum viable product, especially if you want to go to crowdfunding and develop that prototype further. So really what I'm saying is I think it boils down to your target customers, small amount, have got to recognize the problem, Ian. They've got to understand the problem and associate it as a problem that they have. They've got to be actively searching for a solution, be it a product or service. But also, as well, they've got to have the budget to go out there and buy that prototype.
So quick question then, John, when we're testing the market, is that a marketing activity or a sales activity?
It's a good question. I think it's probably it's a split, and it's something that's got to be developed on the fly. That's the benefit of being a startup, and I do think you can't predetermine that. It's what comes back and constantly evolving.
So it's I mean, in the comments we get to when we're doing market testing, we have to put some marketing together to put the product out there to get feedback on. Okay,
Yeah.
but then once we've got somebody who's interested in it, it quite quickly turns into a sale, and we're looking to close that route to market, and that often, depending on the product or service, repeat that route to market to prove to ourselves that we can actually pre-sell it and we're on the right lines and it will scale as a business.
Yeah.
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 So then we're into the last phase then, aren't we? Which is building the product.
Yeah.
And there are We see all sorts of companies doing a variety of things here, trying to raise money and build a big company themselves to build their product, contracting their product development out to professional service companies, which is a good way to go, partnering up with someone to share the risk.
Yeah.
And sometimes, one of the things that's happened recently is product going to market and actually doing the market testing identified a potential company to take on the development. So we didn't actually complete that. What we did was found a really good route to market for the entrepreneur that had developed the idea.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So I think really we could write a dissertation on this, or we could write a thesis on this, or a huge white paper. So I was thinking about this over the weekend, and really, I think prototyping can be very simple or quite complex. It depends on the type of product designing. So I was going to say that really, when you're looking for a prototyper, what are their skills base?
Well, so it depends what you're right, John. It's usually a complex area, and it depends what you're trying to achieve. You can do all sorts of things to prove the concept, but actually getting to the next phase, which is a prototype, can be costly. If you're developing websites, you can start off with sketches, and you look at marketeers on the web, and they've sold services and products from a bunch of sketches. Okay,
Yeah.
that's that's an absolutely valid thing to do. When it comes to hardware development, you can often take a piece of open source hardware, develop that, prove the functionality, and then once you've got the buy-in, then you move to your next phase, which is generally the more costly phase, which is trying to build a prototype and then turn that prototype into a product that you can run down a line in a factory. That's where a lot of companies fall down, but we do that routinely, don't we?
We do. So typically for people who don't know what we do in terms of prototyping, usually the prototyping that we do is based around electronics, or it's based around medical products as an example. But also as well, we can also add value in terms of consultancy. We've got experience in terms of what needs to be considered. So just simple things in such as, who is going to produce the end product?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where's it going to be produced?
Yeah. Have you investigated the costs? What about molds? What about tooling? What about raw materials? Shipping the product, packaging the product. And then, of course, from a business insights perspective, and also from a consultancy perspective, Ian, markups once it's in the channel. Again, critically important. Is it going to fly or not?
No, that's all valid points, John. All valid points. Marketing simple, straightforward, and fun. And I think if you've seen it before, you'll all agree Haroon Rashid, our head of digital marketing, makes it a lot of fun. You can also catch the summaries on Movi at movi.co, so we'd encourage you to do that as well. And John's top questions for each stage, as he talked about. But start off, find the pain. Talk to people, talk to your potential clients, extract the ideas, and really drill down into where they spend most of their time, what causes them most pain every day, and what things do they not like doing that could be automated or they could achieve with a new product or service. Pre-sell that idea, test the market, find at least 3 people to buy it to, or one that's going to go exclusive with you, and then get into building a concept for the product, and building that out to the full minimum viable proposition and take it to market. If you follow those things, your products will increase the likelihood of being successful and your business will start to grow. Anything to add, John?
No, that's it. That's all concise for me.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. That's it for today's show. Thanks for watching. It's been a great show with Jon Stephenson, our head of business insights. So thanks a lot, John, and I'll speak to you again on another show.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thanks a lot. And to all your listeners out there, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining in, and we'll see you soon. Bye.